Buddy, this is JD. What am I going to talk to you about today? I'm going to talk to you about something very important. Let's start off with, you been listening to the news lately? Have you all been listening to the news lately? Have you been listening to the Trump and the Republicans and the Democrats and what all they're saying? We can have one of two things in this nation, but we can't have them both. We can have our nation so secure and so safe that everybody does not have to worry about anything while we are all in prison. In other words, no freedoms, no liberties, no nothing. Take all the guns away. Close up all the churches. Secure our borders so no one comes in, no one goes out. We can have that security that you all want. Or we can have the freedom that our forefathers fought for. There's no two ways about it. What scares me more than ISIL? Now, I know as President of the United States, I can handle ISIL. But what scares me more is to watch our political party candidates become exactly the same thing that ISIL is. The greatest heritage we have, the very greatest heritage we have within this nation is the people who originally came here. They came here for religious freedom. Now, you all see ISIL. You might now, if you bother to read Thomas Jefferson's writings on separation of church and state, understand what that man says. He has talked so far into his future that we now see what mixing church and state can do to a society and a people. And the worst part of it is we have candidates who dare to run for president of the United States to totally ignore that fact. We have a candidate who won, believes he should get rid of what they call the anchor baby, the baby who's born here from aliens. But the Constitution in its amendment says no, that person is a citizen, and as such will have those rights. Congress has even passed laws that said no, not until they're 18. No. That child from the date of birth must be protected. Because if our Congress can take away those liberties and freedoms that are guaranteed that child, then they can take away yours, which they are going to try to do. We have a group of people in this country that comes here for safety and security. And yes, there may be some criminals among them, just like there may be some criminals among any other group of people that come in. Go to Los Angeles, you will find a lot of them. Go around the country, they are there. Go to New York, you'll find the Russians have them. The Italians have them. Yeah, I'm talking about criminal elements. Every group has criminal elements. Oh, but these could be terrorists. What's the difference? A guy comes into the bar where you're working and own and says, pay me a ransom for safety or else, and you say no, and then in comes 6 people that tear up your bar, beat up your customers and everything else. Well, a guy who walks in there with a bomb and says, hey, you're a heathen, boom. And they're both bad. But the truth is, to block that and have the safety, we have enough scrutiny that's done on every immigrant that comes into this country from the Middle East. More than anywhere else in the world. And we do scrutinize. But to have the audacity? Now, I will agree with any religious leader who tries to mix politics with church or religion should be, by the Constitution, be arrested. They are going directly against the Constitution of the United States. Let religious leaders deal with religion and let the state deal with the government. That's the way I look at it. In that process, I heard horrible things from candidates running for president. One had the audacity to say, close every mosque in this nation when I'm president. Yeah, you can get the police force together and say, close them, don't let anyone in, go in there, arrest their religious leaders, chase them away. But can he do that as president? Well, let me read you something. We're going to go to this little booklet again. And in it, it has the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. And I'm in the section of the Constitution of the United States. These are the laws in which our government must abide to, above all else. And in there, there's the Bill of Rights. These are the restrictions that are placed upon our government to ensure a free society among its people. Now I'm going to the First Amendment. Oh, that's the freedom of speech, freedom of this. No, it's even more than that. It's much more. Congress shall make no laws respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise therefore. Right there's where I'm going to stop for right now. What gives these presidential candidates the right to even say such audacity as we will close mosques, we will arrest religious leaders, we will go against a religious group? What gives them the audacity to say that? Oh, safety, safety, they might be a terrorist among them. So we will persecute a whole group of people? Why don't we go to some small towns and pull all the banks out of them? Go to Norfolk, close every single bank in Norfolk. You know why? There is some people that might want to rob that bank. So let's close all the banks in the city of Norfolk, Virginia. No banks at all. And 7-Elevens clean across the nation. Let's close them down because there's going to be criminals coming in there, shooting and robbing and killing. See what I'm saying? Do we want to live in a prison? Do we want to live in a nation in which every step, every breath, everything we do is dictated to us? Or are we going to live in a nation where the very foundation of our nation, upon which the colonies were built on, the freedom to exercise their religious beliefs? Now, there is a strong possibility that our very first president of the United States of America, not congressional, but very first president, John Hanson, may have been a Moor. Some history says it was this man. Some history says it was that man. Both men come from Maryland. Both men were highly recognized delegates to the Continental Congress. But if that's true, then our nation was founded by a Moor, a Muslim. The principles of our nation to love each other, to accept each other as we are, is also in the Quran. These radicals who blow themselves up and think they're going to go to heaven and get all these doggone women, truth is, they're going straight to hell. And they don't get to go by code, and they don't get to collect $200. They get nothing. They will have the torment of the evil that they have done. Because once you kill an innocent woman or an innocent child, you have done everything that's against the Quran. Everything against it. You can use any excuse you wish. You can call them heathens. You can call them whatever they wish. You can call them the evil. You can call them Satanists. It doesn't matter. once you've killed an innocent woman or child, you have gone against every single thing in the Quran. That's it. So, American people, this video is not about Muslim or the Muslim religion. This is about our core foundation, our heritage that makes this nation just a little bit better, just a little bit stronger, just a little bit higher on that pedestal than any other nation in the world. Religious freedom is the first and foremost cornerstone placed to ensure the restriction of the political machine that the Constitution set in motion. Not to allow any government whatsoever to interfere with any religious beliefs, practices, or churches, whether it's a synagogue, a mosque, or a regular church, with a cross on top, with a star on the wall, or a crescent moon, whether it's a Buddha sitting in the passageway, or a Hindu god, whether it's a Wicca, or whether it's an Indian tribe with their beliefs of the different gods of wind, nature, and the Creator. Yes, there is a Creator of all. Matter of fact, what we as Christians call God, the Indians call a Supreme Creator. What we call God, Muslims call Allah. The Jewish people call Jehovah. But they all mean the same thing. Many prophets have come, many prophets have gone. Some are seen as demigods, some are seen as just great prophets. But the truth is, in this nation, our heritage, our foundation, our cornerstone of everything that the United States stands for is built on the freedom of religion. And we as the people of this nation must defend that freedom. We must embrace those we fear. We must show them within our country that this is their home as much as ours, no matter who they are and where they're from originally. The only thing I can truly tell you about this nation, positively, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is every single person in this nation is an immigrant or a descendant of an immigrant. Now somebody's going to go, oh, no, we have the Native Americans. They came here maybe a couple thousand years before, but they still migrated here. That makes them descendants of immigrants. The earliest immigrants, but they're still descendants of immigrants. There is no human walking inside the United States that is not an immigrant or descendant of an immigrant. We must understand what we are. We must build upon our heritage. Do not allow fears of the world to tear down and destroy this nation that so many before you have suffered to keep alive. Do not allow politicians to attack our Constitution, whether they're running for president or whether they're not. Because our Constitution is us. It is ours. It is our government. They are the servants. Even the president is the servant of the United States. So people, yes, I am talking to you about something that is very dear. This country. I am talking to you something that is very in need of your help to keep those who wish to destroy it for political reasons and political safety and political mumbo jumbo, just to tell you what you want to hear, instead of telling you the very truth. So together, instead of alienating another group, which we quite do so well, let's try to embrace each other for what we are, all of us together. And know, only together, we and our Constitution shall take control of this country. Not the politicians, not the political parties, and definitely not the government. That's what JD's all about. There's only 3 promises I give you. Take your word to Washington, D.C. to ensure Congress starts serving the people and let Congress know the people are the master of the government, not the servants of the government, and leadership. And our Constitution, go to the www.constitutionisparty.com. Read what it's about. It's all about keeping the Constitution as it is written. Not the way we like it to be. Not to ignore what we don't want to see and to only enforce what we want. And remember the Bill of Rights. Those are the greatest fears our forefathers had. And today we have political candidates for president talking about destroying many of them. I told you Supreme Court made that ruling prayer in school. Now you got people thinking they could close mosques. Next they're going to be closing synagogues. Then they'll close churches. They'll close anything they want if we let them. Or we could stand up, hold our Constitution in their face and say, this is all we will allow you to do. Don't you dare touch any door of any religious organization, no matter what you, the government, may think. But those within those religious organizations, be leery if you teach politics. Because politics is not of God's. There was a great prophet, one of the greatest of all prophets, not Thomas Jefferson with his writing. Some call him a prophet. I call him the Son of God. Many do. Actually, I call him the son of the Creator. He is the chosen one, the disciple of the Creator, the main. He's called Jesus. He said it best. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, render unto God what is God's. And I add, and never shall the twain mix. So as we go to protect and secure our nation against radical beliefs of whatever, they are not of a religion, they are just radical beliefs who think they are better than anybody else, which, by the way, so did the Nazis, and so did other wars that are around. People think they're better than those around them. And we yet must remain strong and diligent to our founding cause. Freedom of religion is the very reason our colonies, many of them, were founded. The freedom to praise and pray and believe in the Creator as we wish to believe, not dictated by some political machine, not told how we shall, but to be allowed freely to exercise and practice our religious beliefs. This is the founding core of the United States of America. Yes, we must separate church from state, and we must keep it separated from church from state, because otherwise that core will be destroyed by the political machine that is within our government. Strange, is it not, that the very founding core of our nation must be kept separate, completely separated from the nation's political government. And the Constitution says that in the very First Amendment. So, people, listen to what these candidates are saying, and listen to what I am saying. But let me tell you, they can't get on the ballot any better than I can unless you go out there and you get the signatures and you put the names. You start getting signatures. Stop putting the names. Let people start seeing me, and I'll come. Let me get a campaign manager who is smart enough to do the job that is needed. And we shall go throughout the nation. Or let these candidates who are doing these political party debates and whatever, do them. And that's what you'll get. Think of how horrible a nation we'll have if someone like Trump goes around and doing everything he said he wants to do. Our taxes would go through the roof to pay for the things he said, because he knows no spending limit. He would dictate to you what you can and cannot see. He will dictate to you what you can and cannot eat. He will dictate to you how you shall pray. He has already said all those things. He will waste money on wasteful projects that he feels is a success when all they do is create nothing but take more taxes to do. So, people, I, James D. Crivo, James Dennis Crivo, say unto you, we must maintain the separation of church and state. The pearls that we can have is shown to you in the Middle East. Their church and state is so intertwined and so intermixed, you can't even, it's almost like there is no state. It's all church. But we, the people of the United States of America, must maintain that separation. Do not allow the people who wish to close any religion down, to lock any church door, any mosque door, any synagogue door, any door of worship, but to allow the people to freely and safely practice their religious beliefs without hindrance from those around them. That's why we had the Pilgrims. That's why Rhode Island was founded. That's why Connecticut was founded. That's why Maryland was founded. And the Carolinas. I could go on naming other states. Massachusetts was by the Massachusetts Company. But the Pilgrims were there first. Maine was part of Massachusetts. You had Vermont, New Hampshire. Religion had a lot to do. The freedom of religion for our colonies were the most cherished of all their freedoms. They came here to endure this wilderness. And some today wish to take what our core foundation of all away. No, we're not a European nation. No, we're not dictators. And no, we are not Nazis. Nazis can be anything for any group, for any purpose. That's what I use the term for. We are Americans. And we must remain true to ourselves. We must be strong enough to support our heritage and not allow the political machines of the world or the Republican Democrat Party, they're part of them, to lobby our government for the name or sake of what they say is safety, when actuality they are practicing imprisonment. Think. Restriction of use and ownership of firearms, restriction and use of religious beliefs, where you can pray, where you cannot pray. Now they're talking about closing doors on some, so who and how you can pray. They are attacking our Constitution, and we must realize we are our Constitution's only defense. So to you I ask, each and every one of you, check me out. See what J.D. Creveau is all about. Help me to help you, to help our nation return to its founding core. No, not to make religion part of our political system, but to keep it totally separate, so that those who wish to pray to the Creator, God, Allah, Jehovah, Buddha, whatever you want to call him, the Great Supreme, can do so freely, knowing that those in the other religious organizations next to them will be there to support them as freely as they support the others. We are a nation of diversity. We are a nation of differences. We are a nation of strength, not weaknesses. And we must remain honest and true to our very, very foundation core. The founding core of the colonies is the freedom of religion. Without that struggle, the colonies would not have existed. This nation would not be there. Every American out in the United States right now, when one political candidate said, close the mall stores, should have had the hair on the back of their head stand up. That should have been the death of him as a political entity. But he's saying nice, sweet things to everybody. These things do not need to be said. We need to understand what our nation is built on, what we as a nation stand for, and how we shall maintain ourselves. The strong never succumb. And for some reason, they always end up victorious, though the struggle may not be easy. The weak become the slaves of those who wish to enslave them, and never are they able to free themselves of those shackles and chains they have thrown upon themselves. But the strong shall never know the feel of steel upon their wrists or their legs, for they shall stand. With that all said, people, I want you to understand. If you decide to elect me president, ISIL will still exist. It will be my responsibility to you, the people, to ensure the safety of our nation. And that I shall do without closing a single mosque, without arresting a single religious leader that does not practice political whatever. Those who remain true to their beliefs and their religion, not the political machines, shall always be free. Those who wish to step out of the doorway and become a politician, expect that as such. Those who wish to be free must stand alongside with me and protect the rights of each and every American or American to be, or even immigrant within this nation. But we must do it together as a nation, for then we will be strong. We must join together. So people, I ask you, check me out, see what I'm about. Start getting signatures in your state for James D. Cravo, presidential candidate, and start distributing them. Because without you, this is a useless video. Without you, the piece of paper that this book is based on, the Constitution of the United States, is worthless. It's you that will make the difference. Thank you, and let's pray to God, each and every one of us, or the Creator as I call him, that no door on any church is ever closed by the United States government for any reason whatsoever. Thank you. This is JD. Remember, pass it around. Let people know, for only together we can fix our nation. Each and every one of you must understand that. Thank you.